Hi, it's Steve and Joe from Everegg, and we're here with our weekly take for the 6th of December.
Righto. A new format, new look. We'll kick around some important issues, critical issues in the outlook we released last week. Talk about a GDT result and, of course, the famous chart of the week. So let's go to... I guess we use these as the headlines. The headline issues from last week's November Global Dairy Directions.
Yeah, so the critical issues that have really driven the outlook that we've just released, which is for sort of firmer fundamentals, but not great, is it yet, Steve?
No, it's firming, but I mean, we've seen some disconnections between regional prices and values. But no, it's still lagging demand side. So as this list indicates, there's a lot of tightening on the supply side, but is that enough?
Yeah.
And I'd say, our view is not enough yet. Not enough willing from the demand side. In the short term, everyone's eagerly watching the New Zealand weather patterns and those rainfall indications. So will lingering New Zealand milk give confidence that there's enough skim milk powder out there?
Sure.
Given whole milk powder is still quite weak and China isn't coming back. We think EU milk, there's a good risk that it'll be growing again by spring.
Sure.
Given farmers are getting every encouragement, they're good margins over feed prices, milk prices are going up. Just whether or not there's damage from feed in the meantime, the damaged feed quality during a very wet autumn, whether that holds them back. We'll see this a little later. Perhaps we're getting a bit of a prelude at this next one, that EU butter, the pushback against very high prices could have begun already. We think that's a factor. It's not quite like what the US is, the spectacular demise we've seen in the US, but quite a different butter market. But let's see if that's, how that impacts butter prices. How long will milk in the US stay flat?
Yeah, I mean, that's been an interesting one. Expecting margins to improve through next year, Steve?
A little, yeah. A little, not convincing. Because we've got pretty sad prices, and we'll see that in a tick, but the US still staying like that. And then this cheese wars. The contestable parts of the world market for cheese aren't growing, and so the cheese trade, the price competition is pretty intense, and that's a story that's going to play out for a fair while, we think.
Sure. So that's the context leading into GDT event number 345. Futures had overshot GDT prices, and they came back a bit in the lead up to this event.
Yeah, I think futures are still overshooting where they were. They come off quite a bit. A lot of talk. I think there was some early rallies. That's changed. You can see whole milk powder there. The pulse result was pretty flat in the previous event. We had skim milk powder futures coming off a couple of $100 right through the profile there. Go to Europe, and butter prices have peaked and seem like they're coming off now. So, and skim milk powder's consistent story there too. So we've seen that rally. The momentum in the EU ran out.
Yes.
It's continued to drift.
So not a lot of positive direction leading into this event, Steve. So
fairly uncertain.
Yeah, 2% increase overall in the price index. It probably wasn't a bad result. It also should be noted that the volumes on offer was the smallest since July, I think.
Yeah, that's right. Siri trying to tell you something there. Pretty dramatic chart this. Look at the action on the right-hand side. You've got some big skyscrapers over there.
It's a real roller coaster on the Cheddar train, isn't it?
Yes. And everything pretty meek until you get into butter where there was some healthy gains and cheddar, freakish, low volume, small quantities sold. Something we haven't got on there, which is an interesting first time. Mozzarella has made its first appearance. Its debut. Didn't do stunning either. It's undershot where the EU quotes are, but it's European mozzarella that's come onto the market. We don't show it there because it hasn't changed. So spot prices were We saw a little bit of momentum in European quotes, just in the short-term quotes for a little bit of upward movement in the skim milk powder that runs against what the futures market showed. Butter coming off, the US sideways all round.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to limit one chart in these demands and these demand scenarios.
But it is an interesting one, Steve. It started out pretty strong.
Yeah, we had a similar result in whole milk powder to last time, but for different reasons. You see, last time it eked out slowly. This time started stronger, petered out.
Yeah. Wow.
That's all I could find interesting in that lot to show you. The buying regions, and again, I've limited this to two charts here. What's most interesting? So China's buying in whole milk powder sagged.
Yeah.
The lowest volume, you have to go back to early August to find a lower. That's showing the percentage, but the tonnage was pretty low. I mean, we are seeing volumes come off, but China's buying was pretty weak. The other important one, Southeast Asia buying of skim milk powder, not their lowest for a while, but it's still up there, not too bad. You see that trend line starting to come back a bit there on the right hand side.
Sure.
But still way below where we've been in the past. Some interesting price changes. This is the cheese wars we've talked about. US market there. These are NDPSR prices. So they're essentially wholesale releases. Sagging, the GDT market's come up a bit and gone a little bit beyond, but that's still a fairly tense little battle.
It is.
In terms of value, GDT just getting up towards 4,000 again. We're showing this in US language, but that's the relevant one, we think, at the moment.
Absolutely. The synthetic values.
So that's tightened a tiny bit. Still healthy $300 difference there. That synthetic, that's a recombined AMF with US non-fat.
So it suggests that whole milk powder is still good buying.
Yeah, depending on how you view China. But so it's still
based on fat and protein value.
It's still a bargain. It's been there for a long time, as you can see. The GDT spot value came back a little bit after dropping over a couple of events. So the higher powder prices outstood the rising New Zealand dollar against a weaker US.
Yes, they're still reasonably comfortable.
Yeah.
With that Fonterra forecast range at the moment.
You'd expect that range is going to go up. But there's still a healthy gap there. Joe, what's your chart of the week?
Well, it was too good a week to stop with just one. First of all, we're leading off with non-fat dry milk stocks, and they've come back quite substantially, Steve, which really reflects what's happening in the next chart around production.
Lowest in 4 years there.
Lowest in 4 years, wow.
It's all about this, isn't it?
Yeah, you can see skim milk powder and non-fat dry milk productions come off significantly over the last 6 months, and October was no exception. We had an increase in cheese production, but not as strong as the increase in availability of manufacturing milk. So, it's all fairly steady as she goes, isn't it?
Small changes in those other bars. Yeah. So, it's all right. Okay, that's all for us.
Yes.
Thanks for viewing. Still got those Fresh Agenda references there. You can still get us at those locations, but we'll be back again sometime soon. Merry Christmas.